starting point for preparation for GS-1 or any subject for that matter becomes the UPSC notification, right? So we will take every single bullet point of the UPSC syllabus, and I will tell you how to go about preparing for each single point
Topic.
For each single bullet point topic of that syllabus. Right. So let's delve into it. सबसे पहले इसके अंदर है I will can I share my screen? Akshay?
Yeah. Yes, sure. From the bottom, there's a control of sharing screen.
Got it. Can you guys see my screen? I hope I
Yes.
can. Anyway,
It's visible.
ठीक है. तो
Thank you.
सबसे पहले शुरू होता है इंडियन कल्चर. इसके अंदर पहला पॉइंट है आर्ट फॉर्म्स, दूसरा लिटरेचर आर्किटेक्चर फ्रॉम एंशियंट टू मॉडर्न. राइट. तो हमारे पास तीन चीजें आई देखने को. एक तो आर्ट फॉर्म्स, एक लिटरेचर, देन दिस आर्किटेक्चर, एंड देन एंशियंट से मॉडर्न तक. राइट. तो whenever we are, then this one bullet point shows us the pattern of the questions over the years. जैसे लास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चन आया था about the Chandela dynasty, right? There have been numerous questions upon Chola dynasty and their temple architecture. There has been questions about literature. Art forms के अंदर we had the stupa question जो कल के डेली टेस्ट में भी था. So this is your cue कि आप जब भी कोई डायनेस्टी पढ़ें, आपने प्रीलिम्स के अंदर डायनेस्टीज पढ़ी होंगी, राइट? आपने मौर्यंस के बारे में पढ़ा, आपने उसके बाद सातवाहन के बारे में पढ़ा, गुप्ता के बारे में पढ़ा, सो ऑन टू सुल्तानेट के बारे में पढ़ा, विजयनगर के बारे में पढ़ा, राइट? उस सब के जो भी आर्ट फॉर्म्स थे, लिटरेरी जो कंट्रीब्यूशन थे और आर्किटेक्चर कंट्रीब्यूशन जो थे, उसका एक छोटा सा 1 पेजर 2 पेजर नोट्स बनाने. व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दैट? जैसे कल क्वेश्चन आया था वो पल्लव वाला, पल्लव ऑफ कांची, राइट? नाउ इफ यू हैव योर 1 पेजर नोट्स की पल्लव का क्या क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन था. लिटरेचर के अंदर भी ऑल नो की उम्मत विलास प्रहसन वाली चीज थी. कुछ लोगों को दंडन के बारे में भी पता था. सो इफ यू हैव दोज fodder points for every dynasty.
Lakshay, sorry to interrupt. I think this is an audience, very mixed audience, and some people do not understand Hindi. So we will have to go about in English more or less.
Got it. So what I've discussed up until now is for every bullet point, if you see this one bullet point, we have got art, literature, architecture from ancient to modern. Then this implies that for any dynasty you have read in your press, you have to supplement the specific knowledge you have gained for particular dynasty. Like as I said about the Pallavas of Kachi, you will be focusing on their art contributions, their literature contributions, and their architectural contributions, and you will make out your 1 or 2 page notes, and that will be helpful for you to generate points and make them more specific if a question on a particular dynasty comes the way it did in 2025 upon the, I guess, Chandelas, right?
Yes, Chandelas.
So you will be covering it up by now coming to the source. How will you cover up the source for this one particular heading? Firstly, your prelim source would do for the specific value addition part, just as I said. Secondly, what you can do, what I did was I read Satish Chandra and R.S. Sharma for my prelims as well. If you have not read it yet, then don't need to do it. But if you have read it, then just skim through it and make your 1 pager out of it. If you have not done those 2 books, then you can switch to Prahar magazines, the ones issued by only IIS Physics Wala. Or lastly, there is a senior of 2024 batch, Mr. Madhav Agrawal. His notes are there on his channel. He has made notes, his handwritten notes over the 5 years he took the exam, and those are pretty succinct notes, and they do their job. And the best part about them is that they are PYQ coded, so it helps to form a rudimentary architecture. Of course, they are not again very dense notes. Also, the fact that since many people do them now, they may not have their same charm as they did last year. But if you have no notes available with you, they can prove as a best starting point. And later on, you can do more iterations when you revise them, and you can add more content from your prelims notes. Right. So I guess that settles the debate about it. Um, how to write the answers? We will do another session probably, or maybe you write your answers. I will. I also put my answers for every single question which we put on the channel, and you can compare your answers with my answers. See how I write. See how I present my answers, and that may be your cue to improve. Secondly comes the modern Indian history part. This is again middle of the 18th century, like the declining Mughals to the present. So this is the cue for this syllabus heading of post-independence consolidation, right? This connects with here. So in modern Indian history, there's plethora of things to learn, but since we are not history optional people, we will stick to these three headings: events, personalities, and issues. Whenever see the basic source for this will be spectrum. We will only be sticking to spectrum because you have already read it in the prelims. So there will be no inertia in picking up a new book. Uh, what we will do in this particular heading is we will just change our perspective of looking at things from a prelims perspective to the mains perspective. We will be focusing more on the events, personalities, and issues. In events, what things which we will do is that what were the events which were seminal to the Indian history in the decades of 1750s to up until now. The events usually in UPSC's language translate to the movements like Satyagraha, like Home Rule, like Khilafat, like our like our
Quit India
uh,
movement.
Quit India movement and NCM, RTCs, Salt Satyagraha, Salt March, right? So these things. Um, apart from that, the personalities, sometimes personality-based questions come. Personality earlier used to be just one, Mahatma Gandhi ji, and contrasting with him other personalities. Like there was a question between Gandhi ji's approach and Rabindranath Tagore's approach towards education, I feel. Secondly, there was this question upon Gandhiji and Bose, Gandhiji and Dr. Ambedkar. But lately, like as I saw last year, there was a question on Dr. Jyotiba Phule. Now, some people may say that it was the, I guess, 200th anniversary of Savitri Bai Phule, but again, that's a far-fetched
Idea.
prediction to make. So, what you can do is that for every prominent personality, take out pointers as to what each personality did, as I had some pointers from Spectrum only. What Jyotiba Phule did as to what were his literary contributions. There were two books he wrote, Gulamgiri, Kashtkar Ki Chabuk. What positions did he hold? He was, I guess, the commissioner of Pune when there was a plague in Pune. And what works did he do? Right, as we remember, Dr. Ambedkar for constitutional creation. We remember Dr. Phule for his caste emancipation efforts, widow remarriage, and women's education. So I was able to draft a good enough um, answer while in the exam hall. So that was about personalities. Then coming to issues. Issues usually translate in this spectrum to the issues of particular section of society. So there is a particular list of sections which I created when I was preparing for this. That sometimes there will be question on the issues of tribals, as in how the British rule impacted this group and what were their issues emanating out of it. So there will be issues of tribal impact of British on tribals. What how did tribals suffer in British rule, and what were their reaction to those injustices which were perpetrated onto them. Now you can replace tribals with peasants or women or with the farm or with what laborers, like the labor class, unionists, then communists, um, so on and so forth. Right. So prepare these subaltern sections. I call them subaltern sections, and
Mm-hmm.
prepare some names. Like if we talk about women, so in women we have these few strands like women of the moderate section, like Annie Besant, like we had our Margaret Cousins, etc. Then we have our
Mm-hmm.
revolutionary women like Beena Das, Priti Lata Vaddidar, all names from the spectrum only. Then coming to the last part, the women who participated in the Quit India movement, Usha Mehta, etc. Right. Point is not to delve deep into it, but just remembering names just so you can add specificity to your answer. Okay, so the source remains for this part more or less spectrum. If you want to read, you can again read Prahar magazines or Physics Wala, but I think that would be just an addition and not the specific base source. The freedom struggle, its various stages. Again, we linked it to the event part only. The movement part, how freedom struggle has. Now, some philosophical questions can be asked in this heading, like how uh, the freedom movement changed its course from Swadeshi to Quit India
Mm-hmm.
movement, or the contribution of particular person. Like I remember there was this question on Dr. Abul Kalam Azad, right? So as I said, the way we prepared personalities is the same way we will prepare the contributors. What specific work they did, what were their literary contributions, कोई book वगैरह if they have written any
Mm-hmm.
book, etc. Any post they held, which region they came from, you will know if you have read Spectrum diligently. So lastly, this post-independence consolidation and reorganization. This is a very low yield topic. Low yield does not imply that you are free to leave it to chance. So what you do in this section is there are three things you do. Firstly, you read the Spectrum's final pages after like
Summary
the
of the
Nehru
chapter.
years, the Indira Gandhi years, Lal Bahadur Shastri years. You read those chapters because it's like written in a very story format. And for me, I used to read it as a storybook rather than a syllabus book. While I
Mm-hmm.
would be having dinner, or maybe I would be very bored. I didn't have anything to read. I was having snacks, so I will just pick up the book, and I will skim through it. Secondly, what you should do is that you should watch this series called Pradhan Mantri on YouTube. It's a great series, and it is by ABP News, and you would love this series. And since it is in video format, it will be very uh, enticing to watch. The actors are very phenomenal, especially the Indira Gandhi years. So it's like pardon for my drawing skills.
We will text about this in the group.
Yes, I can just write it in the chat. Come on.
Yes, yes, we'll
What's
write in.
right? So you could have done that.
No,
Anyway,
I'm typing over there.
so Pradhan Mantri series, you should watch it. Now, this is my favorite part of the syllabus, entire GS Mains syllabus. Um, History of the world. World history, as people say, is a bottomless pit. You can prepare it for years at stretch, and you can still not finish. What you should do is you should watch these two things. Can I type in?
Oh yeah, chat
Yes,
box.
I can type in. I can type in. So what you should do for this world history is there is this channel called Oversimplified. You can watch it. This will give you a bare bones idea of world history. See, world history, majorly the topics they ask in world history are is French Revolution only, right? French Revolution and world wars. So dedicate your most of the focus on those topics. I see people are going insanely crazy about the American Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. You should calm, sorry, Industrial Revolution, nahi, Russian Revolution. Industrial Revolution
Hmm.
is still an important topic, but Russian
Hmm.
Revolution and American Revolution, American Civil War, these are very low yield topics. Do not fret about it. Do not fret about the colonial revolt, the Stamp Act, all those things, right? So the sources remain the oversimplified YouTube channel. Uh, then what else did we have? The class 9th and 10th NCRT, the beginning chapters which we used to skip earlier. Now is the time to read it. Uh, and of course, the PYQ. Right. So these are the things which you should do to cover your world history.
Hmm.
Coming on to our um, next section of where did the yes. I hope my screen is not visible now, right? Yes, it's visible.
It's visible, Lakshay.
Perfect. So you can see next up is our society in the society diversity of India. All these two headings go together. For the salient features of society diversity of India, I relied on Prahar magazines last year because I was not able to find a consolidated and succinct source for this heading. Also, the type of questions UPSC asks in this heading is extremely diverse, and
Hmm.
we can't specifically predict the theme. That is why it's a very low ROI area. Um, Hence, I relied more on Prahar magazines, and then I switched to answer writing directly because that's an
Hmm.
innate skill you develop slowly. Coming on to role of women and women's organization, you should stick to PYQs and see the type of pattern, type of questions that are being asked, and then um, either pick up some toppers notes. As I said, Madhav Agrawal sir's notes are very succinct as a beginning starting point. You do that and try to answer PYQ. If you are able to write the PYQs based on that, which you will be able to, you are good to go. Population and associated issues. Uh, do one. There's an extremely nice resource in NCRT of class 12, right? So you will be able to learn the terms of population pyramid and all those terminologies. One more exercise you can do for this GS-1 society's topic is to go on Drishti IIS's website and
Hmm.
Akshay, please type this in the group. Do the Drishti IIS website and in the search bar, type the particular keyword like population, like poverty, like urbanization, and you will be able to get very dense news articles or maybe whatever developments have been in the past 1 or 2 years and take out what you can for main specific purpose. So ignore the data. In GS1, the relevance of data is very minute. Of course, if it hits the nail, then please write it. But there's no need to memorize data per se. So type these keywords: women, population, poverty, urbanization, and search it in the search bar, and you will be able to find quite nice content for your mains enrichment. Otherwise, for the base content, Madhav Agrawal suggests notes or Prahar magazines. Effects of globalization on Indian society. Uh, in the past 6 7 years, I'm seeing only one question being asked again and again and again in the disguise of different words. They will ask, how is globalization impacting local culture and how is local culture impacting global world? So it's like localization and how are we, there's this term called um, assimilation versus disintegration of the local culture. They are just asking different angles of this one particular topic.
The impact
So
of
just prepare,
globalization.
yes, just prepare this one from any good YouTube videos. Smriti Shah ma'am's GS1 analysis videos are available on YouTube for free. Watch them while you're having dinner. These topics just pick up any topper's notes, Madhav sir's notes. I did them. Of course, again, I'm not promoting Madhav Agrawal sir's notes. That's just what I did. You are free to switch to any other
Even I
topper.
read them. They are pretty nice. They are actually
Right.
very organized notes.
Yes. The core, the best part of them is that just they are uh, very succinct and
Tailored to the
organized.
mains. Yes.
I'm again not saying that they are the be all and end all, because if Akshay and I did it in 2025, then many more people will be doing it this year as well. And mains is just about being standing out from the crowd, right? But having said that, you need a beginning point. So Madhav Agrawal
Hmm.
sir's notes are the best beginning point. Not the best, but a very nice beginning point. And you can do your added layers of content enrichment. How to do content enrichment? I just told you, this GIS's website, or if you have been a constant reader of newspaper, then your own notes, and so on and so forth, right? But one more thing I want to add here is, इतना करने में ही जान निकल जाएगी. You will be out of time by while you are doing only this much.
This much.
Writing average answer of all the 80 question in GS
Hmm.
will get you to a very high main scores. At least something which will get you an interview call. Rest is your optional interview score and essay. And if you are able to bring that factor of novelty and specificity in your GS answers, right?
Hmm.
That's just the cherry on the cake. Coming on to this heading, salient feature of world's physical geography. I had read G.C. Leong in prelims, so I just took out very basic notes from it. Um, they anyway ask about volcanism and mountain formation and all those things. So the key is to be specific again. Last year there was this question on plate tectonics. So I made this diagram of about plate boundaries, strike slip faults, mountain creation, all those things. So maybe that helped me in getting the score. That's what you should do as well. If they are asking about plate tectonics, then don't just write strike slip fault, or don't just write creation of fold mountains. Give a specific example, and not just Indo-Australian plate with Eurasian plate, but other examples as well, just like Nazca plate with South American plate, something like that. The more educated you sound, the more scholarly you sound, the more you will score in GS-1. That is my guarantee. Coming to distribution of key natural resources across the sources for this salient feature of physical geography remain the same.
GC long.
GC Leong, if you have not read it in the prelims, then do Prahar magazine, or take out previous year questions and just prepare them.
Lakshay, I want to add one thing. There are Rushikesh Reddy sir's notes. He got selected, I think, 4 or 5 years back. And if somebody has not got any kind of notes, they can be a decent starting point in this particular area. Salient features of geography.
I'm not cognizant about this one, but I read his other notes, other subjects notes like GS3, which are more
I
dynamic,
only did
and I
I
was
only did
I was
GS-1.
screwed. I was screwed. Anyway, that was in
Anyway.
2024, but
Hmm.
yes. Anyway, coming to distribution of key natural resources across the world, South Asia factor responsible. Just for this one particular heading, there is an excellent resource for. um I'm forgetting the name. Yes. Uh, there's this Sudarshan Gurjar sir's video which he releases before prelims about which natural resource is more abundant in which part of the world. And there are diagrams in NCRTs as well. I'm not remembering which classes, particular NCRTs, but there
Mhm.
are diagrams about which natural resource is present in which particular part of the world. I if my memory serves me correctly, it's in the class ninth NCRT of geography, back chapters about mineral resources, in which the natural resources are dotted on the world map, and then they can prove to be a very good base point of to get started with this one particular heading. Or if you don't want to do such hard work, just rely on Vision's value-added material. It is available for free on their website. For that, for this particular heading, like this entire heading, that is a very good resource. Vision value added material for this one particular subheading. Okay. If you have seen in previous years, they are asking very wacky questions on in this department. Just like last year, they asked about primary, secondary, tertiary sector. So develop it all to prepare this topic even theoretically. Type this in Claude or whatever. Just skim through what it says, not necessarily requiring to make notes, but just being more cognizant and keep your eyes and ears open. Because in our attempt 2025, we were expecting that they will ask a question about factor responsible for location of AI industry,
Yeah, industry.
right? So be more street smart about it. How to write answers, that is again a separate art which applies for every single bullet point in this syllabus, but we will discuss it separately because the time foundation. But it's coming to last header, important geophysical phenomenon. This is earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone. Um, this links with GS3's disaster subheading, right? But in GS3, it is more about management of the disaster. And here it is more about the mechanism of disaster, how the disaster happens. And GS3 is how to control that disaster, how to mitigate it. Interplay happens in this year's GS1. They asked about tsunami, as far as I remember, Kamchatka tsunami. Um, you can all these disasters in the geography book of 6 to 12, wherever that particular section might be. In all the basic books of prelims as well, these features are very comprehensively mentioned. So prepare them. If there are any current tsunamis, current earthquakes in the last 1-2 years, do prepare them comprehensively because what they are asking is give me examples of earthquakes in the past 3 decades. So that is a real mind turner. They are asking about examples. So what you can do is that take out examples of earthquakes, put it in Claude or put it in a Google search, and take out the particular examples of earthquakes which happened in the last decade, last 3 decades. Of course, you will be preparing that heat map that this much area is influenced by earthquake in India. This year, a new classification, BIS classification of earthquakes came out. Now they've added, I guess, zone 5 as well, zone 5 or zone 6. I'm not much cognizant of it, but there is a new classification, so do prepare that. It becomes important. Changes in critical geographical features. This is indirectly saying about climate change. So prepare about climate change. I had my notes on IPCC's assessment report 6. I will be uploading that. That serves as a good fodder point. Okay, coming to impacting flora fauna and effects of such changes. For this one particular heading, if you are not finding any, if you require one comprehensive source, do the Prahar magazines. They are very comprehensive and very succinct as well. Otherwise, you can stick to NCRTs. And what I did is I am a follower of Down to Earth, but now is not the time for you guys. So just stick to Prahar magazines. And if you have read NCRTs in your prelims, then just skim through them and make your notes for particular disaster which has been asked based on PYQs. I hope we can, I guess we have shared the PYQ analysis document in the group, Akshay, haven't we?
PYQ analysis document, not yet. We haven't shared.
So let's do one thing. We create a database type thing, which will have some unauthorized material of coachings as well. So we'll not be putting it in the group, but we will create a drive link. So we can upload the particular documents, right?
Yeah.
So that's about it. Now we can, I guess, take up FAQs.
Some of the questions, guys, if you guys have any particular question, please let us know very quickly. It's been a long session. It's been an hour almost.
Can you share the link for magazine, sir? Which magazine? Prahar magazine.
Prahar magazine, Divya, the Prahar magazine, they are very well known. You just type them Prahar by only eyes, you will find them in the Google. First link is usually the one.
They are available, I guess, on for free, right?
They are pretty free. A lot of material by only eyes is completely free. You just need to go to the Google and ask the question.
Got it. I guess that's a big ask as well these days. Anyway, also, sir, can you repeat YouTube channel for distribution of resources? Amit Sen Gupta's videos are also very good on distribution of resources. Or Sudarshan Gurjar sir. I took the name of Sudarshan Gurjar sir, but Amit Sen Gupta's are also well. How to approach questions like twister, demographic winter, and aurora borealis. Twister question. I wrote that twister is a cyclone, and I wrote a 15 marker that twister is a cyclone.
See,
So
this is a very difficult
there are
question to.
there are some
There are some
questions
difficult
which,
questions.
right. Anyway, demographic winter was very much in news. We knew what demographic
Yes.
winter was, and if you are cognizant, you can pretty much deduce what the term means. Aurora borealis. Um, yes, if someone knew, they knew. I knew what aurora borealis was. Northern lights जिसको बोलते हैं. But if someone didn't know, you can't. कुछ तो छूटेगा बनी. Uh, how to make topic-wise notes, sir? Okay. For notes, the notes, it will be a long answer, but I'll just give a bare bones idea. So you read something for the first time, right? आपने 2-4 pages पढ़े, आपको समझ में आया कि okay, but the topic is saying about that particular content which you are reading. Then you read it again after a gap of like 1 day, and then you skim through it. You will not be taking much time from as we did earlier. Now, whatever you feel like, which is not obvious news to you, you take it out and you take it out in such a manner that it should be condensed into the most succinct way possible. Of course, it will get even more succinct as you revise it further and further. But the idea is to not replicate the book into your notes. And one thumb rule I will give you to make notes: notes should not have proper sentences. If you are writing proper sentences in your notes, you are writing a book. Can I show my notes as a reference? I can show them. I have no qualms about it. But I have not prepared notes for all the topics. Of the topics I have made my notes, I will show it definitely. Sir, in society, I fall off writing points as question seems very basic. Well, okay, good for you if you find them basic.
If society
But
questions are appearing basic to you, you're doing pretty fine, buddy.
but I seriously suggest you to look at the questions of 2025.
Last three
Anyway,
3 years question, in fact.
anyway, point generation in society is a big challenge. You need to have some
Yes, it
frameworks
is.
in your mind. Um, I will share some videos which one can watch, not necessarily by us, because we also have scarcity of time. And I particularly don't want to repeat the same things which have already
Things.
been said by our seniors.
Yes.
So I will share some videos. Please watch them, and that will be about it. So not able to use subject-specific terminology. Like I know the answer, but fail to write in academic language because you're not reading academic language, Sahib Rao. You have to read academic language, which seems common knowledge to us. Demographic winter may not be very natural to someone who has not been preparing for UPSC. If I say democratization of public services, it may sound Greek to someone who has just passed 12th standard or a chartered accountant, even though they are very, very, very educated. If you read academic literature, if you read standard sources and not just institutes summaries, you will know what academic language sounds like. For that, please subscribe to the sources I have told in the video, and you will surely be able to pick up. From where did you get the content for answers to AMAC questions? Like such good examples, reading prelims material specifically. Not one example I have used in my answers, which you cannot find in a standard prelims material. I can show you. Sir, how did you handle questions not usually covered in regular, like offshore gas reserves? there is something called as bluffing.
Mhm.
You
And
bluff.
it is very
You
much required because to
there was.
20% questions are unknown.
I'll give you an example. Yesterday, your dear mentor, Mr. Akshay Gupta, put a very bouncer question of Himalayan temples. I know nothing about Himalayan temples. I know that fewer temples are there in Himalayas. Vaishno Devi, Chintapurni, Jwala Devi temple, Hidimba temple, Kedarnath. I know these temples are there, Kamakhya temple. So I took what the elements of these temples are and I reverse engineered from examples, and I wrote a decent answer, better than most of the
Most of the
competition.
people. Yes. Was.
Sir, can you share your FLTs for GS1? I most definitely can, but in 2024, I wrote garbage answers, and in 2025, I wrote just one PY FLT. So, okay. What to do for current affairs during this time, sir? If you have not done anything for current affairs up until this time, I don't think much can be done for current affairs. Uh, so wait for mains 365 of Vision IS and do them.
Yes.
सर नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स तो पता है बट 150 वर्ड्स में लिखे क्या वही इसी बात पे तो पैसे हैं condense your content, write in pointers, and I guess if you sit down and try to start writing, then you will fill the 150 word limit. Um, just focus on the mechanism, how the northern lights work, the impact of them, what impact they create on the economy.
Economy.
They are a great source for tourism. They are a great source for understanding the magnetism of the Earth. They also show our relation to the sun, and so on and so forth. Thank you, sir. What YouTube channel you said for globalization? Uh, did I say any YouTube channel for globalization?
No,
Not it.
it's. Do we need a
Okay,
channel
yeah,
for
I said
globalization?
no. I named Smriti Shah ma'am's. Smriti Shah
Okay.
ma'am is a renowned faculty for sociology. So just go to her channel and see the GS1 analysis videos. In that analysis video, she inadvertently addresses the topic of globalization.
Yes,
So,
yes.
sir, I missed intro section. Anyway, should I need to prepare answer for PYQs, sir? Tandava answer reference to is it possible to answer with basic NCRTs, sir? Basic NCRTs are a sham for mains. See, there
Means
is no one source in the universe that addresses mains comprehensively. You have to have diversity of sources. Only then you will be able to do it. So which one the magazine to follow?
any renowned magazine, I guess. They put nearly the same content,
I guess that's about it. It's been more than an hour.
more than an hour.
We planned for only 30 minutes. It's great that we bought Zoom Premium.
We
Otherwise,
had
this will
to
be
because there were too many requests about it that we need to record. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and thank you, Lakshay. It has been a great session. I think it can be a very good starting point for somebody who's going to start writing GS1 answers like we are posting. And I think I also gained some very new insights the way you broke down the syllabus and connected the points. So, guys, if you were an active participant, you would have got something. If you were not, please do watch the recording. It has been a great session, and thank you again.
installed.